Hello, everybody. How are you all doing today? As you can tell, I've been a little absent the last 3 days. It's because I was feeling a little groggy, and last night I got really tired. In fact, I think I slept like 2 hours before my expected bedtime. And then I woke up at around 1:30 in the morning and I didn't fall back asleep, so, or rather I couldn't. I should really have asked Mom for melatonin, even if I was fairly tired. I guess I haven't really been getting a lot of sleep as of late because I've been so stuffed up, so, that's a problem. But now I'm back, and I should be mostly ready to start recording these vlogs again, unless I get really tired again, which will probably happen in one way or another, even when I'm not sick, like right now. So yeah, I'm sure that a lot of you are a little bit confused right now, not only because I'm back after not being online for 3 days, but I said that if we reached at least 20 subscribers to this channel, then there will be a live stream when Eclipse from Security Breach Ruin comes to visit. Except since this is a school week, and I think I just reached 20 subscribers last Sunday, which is a day before, or yesterday, technically, because today is Monday. I knew it couldn't be possible, so I decided to move the live stream to Friday. So, for those of you, yes, the live stream is still gonna happen, just a little later than expected because of the unexpected timing of reaching that level of subscribers. So, yeah, the live stream is scheduled for Friday. For Friday, let me check my calendar because I don't know what date it'll be. Friday, April 4th at 7:30 p.m. So, yeah, I've been thinking about making a post about this live stream after I'm done recording this video, so y'all won't forget. Because, a lot of other, vloggers and YouTube channels like to put forward events on posts so that their viewers don't forget about them. And, it seems to be a pretty popular method, so I thought, meh, whatever, I might as well follow the trend, So, yeah, April 4th, Friday, April 4th, 7:30 p.m. sharp, is when the live stream will begin. And, yeah, I'd just like to point that out there for any of you that might be confused. You're like, where's the live stream? Where's the live stream? You've gotten to 20 subscribers. You got what you want. Where's the freaking live stream? Calm down, guys. It's coming. I promise. So yeah, I'm gonna be making a post about this after I'm done recording this video. So, yeah. What happened today? Well, due to the lack of sleep I've gotten last night, I've been feeling groggy for most of the day. I have a lot of things to catch up on. So that's unfortunate. But luckily my IEP gave me extended time, so yeah, that's good. And forgive me if my voice might sound a little, more weird and more deeper than usual, because my throat may not be sore anymore, but I guess the bad cough I got kind of messed up my voice a little, so now I might sound a little weird for the next few days, but it'll probably wear off when I feel better. So, just thought I'd let you know about that. And, yeah, I hope you guys are doing okay tonight. Hope you guys weren't too worried about me being gone. A lot of you probably were. You know, and I really appreciate you all looking out for me. Even if it might be on the other side of the screen. Because all this support from you guys might be a bit bigger than y'all might think. So, yeah. My voice is really bad. So yeah, and, moving that aside, I've been thinking about telling you guys another story today. And, you guys might be surprised what this story is about, considering she's probably, this girl is, probably one of the most popular, characters on the internet. And, it's none other than Spinel. Yes, you guys heard me correct. The one and only Spinel is the topic of today's vlog. And, a lot of people might know about Spinel or who Spinel is. And, yeah, and I personally really love her. She's like my most favorite character in all of Steven Universe, even if she only shows up in like 2 movies. Steven Universe and Steven Universe Future. I know she wasn't mentioned at all in the main series, but the moment I found out about her, I started fawning over her immediately. Like, it was an instant bond the moment I saw her. And the moment that I heard about her story, which was pretty tragic. And, I probably don't need to, tell you the full, like, her backstory too much, because a lot of people saw the movie, or at least heard about it, and, like, heard about Spinel's character, or saw her online, looked her up in the freaking Steven Universe wiki, or something like that. So I'm not gonna go into that. I'm just only gonna go over, what happened, like, the aftermath of Steven Universe Future. So, you guys know the diamonds, right? The diamonds from Steven Universe. White, yellow, and blue. You kind of know their characters from watching the series. I personally didn't know them too well because I haven't watched the full series yet. But, I did hear about them online, and in the movie, and in the, future, which I only really watched Steven Universe movie instead of Steven Universe Future. I mean, I saw clips and all, but not like the whole movie. I pretty much get the basis of what's happening without watching the movie. Steven Universe the movie is available on Disney Plus, by the way. What's funny is that one time, see, we have this tradition, is that, my step-grandpa, or Yaha, as I like to call him for some reason, like, would come over every sixth Tuesday of the month. He would come over and spend the night at our house. Don't know why we started that tradition. I might ask my mom later today, but yeah. So I was down in the basement because that's the cool part of our new house. This tradition has been carried around since we were in our old house. So when we got our new house and we finally got our basement, I could finally sleep alone and in content, and we had a TV down there, so it was like literally a second bedroom there for me. And I had this strong desire to finally watch the Steven Universe the movie. And so I looked up where I could find it. And I realized that it was available on Disney Plus. So I tried. I downloaded. What is that? What is that network called? KidsNet? No. It's the same. A Cartoon Network. Yeah, Cartoon Network. I completely forgot what the name was. I completely forgot what the name was. So yeah, I tried finding it on Cartoon Network, and the only thing I could find was the main series of Steven Universe. Could not find the movie. I tried downloading Hulu too, because Google said that you could also find the movie on Hulu, and that did not work. I had to get my parents involved, because I was just stuck. Could not find it. They tried finding it, and sure enough, my dad suggested, hey, why don't we look on Disney Plus? And sure enough, we searched on Disney Plus, boom. It was right there. It was, boom. It was right there. Right on Disney Plus the whole freaking time. And, of course I was shocked. Because Steven Universe didn't really seem like a Disney movie. It just seemed like a child's cartoon. Then again, Bluey is also a child's cartoon, and it's somehow got a Disney Plus. I don't know what it is with Disney and kids cartoons, but apparently that's a thing now. So yeah, I found the movie. I watched the movie. It was very, 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 very good. I was pretty much thinking of Spinel the whole time. Didn't focus on any other character. Literally none of the other characters but Spinel. Spinel was my girl. Spinel had my love. And, of course I had to watch her tragic backstory all over again, which was sad. I didn't cry or nothing, but it was still sad. I mean, dude, she was abandoned in a freaking Floyd Island in the middle of space for 6,000 freaking years. 6,000 years, bro. We'd all be dead if we waited that long. So yeah, so pretty much the only real reason I finally got the courage to watch the movie was just to see Spinel. Nobody else but Spinel. Yeah, as you can tell, I am a hardcore Spinel fan. I'm kind of surprised there isn't Spinel posters all over my room. Again, that would kind of clutter up all my wolf stuff, and I'm still a fan of wolves. You know, in fact, a lot of the characters in my Darkseid X book series, which I'm currently writing, have the power to turn into animals, and most, if not all, of those animals are wolves. Some are foxes, some are dragons, some of them are even cats and dogs, but mostly wolves and dragons. So wolves and dragons, and sometimes foxes, are my top pick for animals for my characters to shapeshift into. So yeah, and I should probably get to her story now. So yeah, y'all remember the diamonds, right? Those three. I probably should, talk about them too much, because a lot of you have already heard about the diamonds or watched the series enough to know who or what they are and what the purpose of the show is. And if you guys saw the movie, you know that the diamonds pick up Spinel and have them live with them, and have her live with them in their palace at the end of the movie. And Spinel is also seen with the diamonds in Steven Universe Future. But what kind of bothered me about Steven Universe Future was the fact that the show didn't really... not the show. The Steven Universe Future didn't focus on Spinel that much. They only seemed to focus on Steven. Only Steven. And I get it. Okay, I get it. Steven was going through a rough time, shapeshifted into this horrible monster, losing control of his powers, doubting himself, and snapping at everyone. And and going through really tragic phases throughout the Steven Universe future, or SUF. I'm just gonna call it SUF for short. Yeah, but I get it. But I kind of wished that Spinel could be treated more as like less of like a static character. Or you guys know what a static character is? I'm assuming a lot of you took English class, so you probably know by now what a static character is. But that's basically what Spinel was treated like in the movie. Not the movie, I mean SUF. In SUF, she's treated like a static character, only helping out when Steven was around her. As Spinel was barely allowed to leave the Diamond's palace, except when the diamonds went out. As you saw near the end of SUF, when the diamonds and the other crystal gems, along with Connie, had to rescue Steven, who just transformed into a monster near the end of SUF. But even then, Spinel was still treated like a boring background character that only jumped in because she was needed, or like she jumped in because there were the situation required her to be involved, and she barely did anything. Like, she helped, sure, by giving Steven the monster, Steven the big new pink noodle long arm hug thing, but she didn't say anything. You know how the other crystal gems, even crystal gems, gave this short little monologue of how they needed Steven. You guys saw that? You guys ever saw that clip? Well, Spinel didn't get to say anything. No short monologue, no long dramatic speech of how Steven was one of the only ones that she could count on in her darkest moments when she felt that everyone else was against her. Just nothing. She said nothing. She barely did anything. And overall, she was treated like she didn't even exist. Like, I get that Steven was the whole plot of the movie, but I just wish that Spinel was a little more involved than just this bland, half-boring background character that barely did anything other than she only really, and like I said, she only really did something when the situation needed her. It was basically by chance. Other than that, Spinel was completely unneeded, which I feel like completely contradicts the movie. Because in the movie, Spinel felt like nobody needed her. Nobody wanted her. Pink didn't want her. She felt like no one would need her, not even Steven. And because it was this, I guess it was sort of this, in a way, it was this way of thinking that caused her to turn around, get her gem corrupted, and become evil. But Steven came along, and he managed to, in a way, snap her out of this way of thinking that she will never be needed or loved. That she can be loved if she just gave others a chance to be her friend. And so she gave the diamonds a chance to be her friend. And her life seemed good. But then Steven Universe Future came around, or SUF came around, and like, I feel like they completely ignore just how much Spinel wanted to feel needed. You know? Like, I remember this one, in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about, basically, there's this one scene in the movie where Steven temporarily reforms her, and Spinel turns off her ejector. And then Steven said that they had to get Garnet's memories back, and Spinel had this mini panic attack, I'm calling it, about how Steven only really needed her to turn off her ejector, and after this they were just gonna walk away and leave her alone again. So she completely reverted back to evil and immediately turned on her ejector again. And I feel like that's the point I'm making here. That Spinel felt like she was only needed when she was asked for a favor, or like when the situation needed her, or when fate needed her to say a certain thing or do a certain action. Almost like she was fate's puppet, some toy they could manipulate and control. And if you guys remember the movie Pink Diamond, she was Pink Diamond's playmate, someone who would play with her and never get tired or never wanted to stop. And when Pink Diamond finally got her own colony, she abandoned Spinel. And I feel like those two scenes alone, both Pink Diamond abandoned her, and Spinel thinking that she was only needed to turn off her ejector. Those two scenes alone completely prove my point as to why I feel like SUF completely failed Spinel as an important character, because my god. If I scared all of you, I'm sorry. I told you my coffee was getting bad. I was trying to hold it down because I was trying to explain something, but then it started getting worse, and I'm like, oh god, I gotta let this cough out. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Excuse me. So anyways, as I was saying, those two scenes alone of why I feel like SUF, or Steven Universe Future, completely failed Spinel as an important character. Because SUF basically did exactly the same thing that Pink Diamond did, in a way. Only it wasn't really apparent to us, viewers on screen, because we were mostly focusing on Steven and not focusing much on Spinel, because Spinel's not really as much of a main character as she was in the movie. But I felt like SUF was completely dumping Spinel to the wayside and kind of treated her like a Pink Diamond Jr. in a way, where she was only really needed because she needed to be needed. Like she needed to do this, or she needed to say that. She needed to feel this way in order for something good to happen one way or another. And she was barely given the important role that she deserved. Because think about it. She reformed. She stopped her ejector, and she changed. And she promised to change, to be a better person. But SUF barely showed any of that. They barely yeah, she was nicer to Steven, sure. And in some way, she did help him a little. Even if she was just doing it for a one-off gag. Or a one-off joke or meme or whatever. Just to appear funny. But she was only needed because fate wanted her. And SUF barely shows any scene where Spinell was rising up to be that friend, that hero that Steven needed. SUF barely showed any of that. They completely dumped Spinell to the wayside, only using her as some joke or some one-off gag to make SUF more lighthearted, a sort of comic relief to kind of the dark and depressing nature of SUF, and that was it. She was treated as a joke. She was treated as some one-off gag to make the audience laugh. As if they're trying to overshadow Spinell's redemption and Spinell's change and improvement completely. And what makes this even more what makes this even more ruthless, in my opinion, is that there are so many people out there that struggle with the same in the real world, that struggle with some, if not all, of the same things that Spinell is struggling with. Because a lot of people, especially a lot of women, deal with abandonment issues and being left behind, being left all alone by neglect. Okay, so when you think about a person that's struggling with issues of abandonment and being alone and having no friends or connections whatsoever, being isolated and completely abandoned by a person that they thought they could trust, and then you put those insecurities into a character that like Spinell that struggles with the same thing, and then you put her in a movie that at the end promises the audience that Spinell was going to change, that Spinell was going to help more than hurt, and then at the next movie you completely overshadow her and treat her as a joke or a one-off gag that are supposed to make the audience laugh and feel better about Steven's dark and depressing anxiety, adrenaline-inducing situation. Yeah, do you guys see the problem here? SUF is supposedly treating redemption from getting better as a joke. They're treating this as some one-off silly moment, a silly lighthearted moment. But it's not funny. Yeah, sure, Spinell. A few of the scenes featuring Spinell did make me giggle a bit. Sure. But the more I looked into it, the more I realized treating a person recovering from supposedly lashing out at others and hurting them as some one-off gag, and as a one-off gag or silly, goofy moment that the audience should laugh at? Do I need to explain why that is wrong? Because I'm pretty sure I can't even explain why that is wrong without wondering why I should explain it at all. I mean, the signs are clear. The signs are obvious. And yet people are so focused on getting a good laugh out of a joke that they don't even see the deeper meaning behind why Spinell is being treated like this. Why is she treated like this? Have the authors of this movie just suddenly given up on Spinel altogether and just focused their attention on Steven? Like, why? Why are they doing this? And I could be overbearing, sure. And I'm not accusing the creator of Steven Universe of any wrongdoing. I just don't want any people suffering the same things as Spinel to pick up the wrong messages. Because that's a big problem for me. And, for being a big fan of Spinel, I am honestly a little disappointed in the creators of Steven Universe that they're willing to give up on such a hopeful character and then completely shove it in the wasteland and treat it as some court jester suffering from depression or something. I really rambled a lot there. I sounded like one of those YouTubers exposing a channel doing wrongdoings to children and like writing an hour-long script about what this person or that person was doing was right or wrong. I really got caught up in the moment. I didn't even get to the story of Spinel yet. I've just rambling on for half an hour about why I feel like SUF completely failed Spinel in a way. So, yeah, I've been rambling on for a while. I'm already at the 32-minute mark. I'm rambling on about Spinel and Steven Universe future in the movie for 32 minutes. This might be a bit of a longer video. But, yeah, I should probably get started with the story now. Sorry that took a long time. I get really caught up in the moment because that's just how much I love Spinel as a character. But, I'm going to try to make this as short as I can. So basically, in the future, back to the Diamonds. So the Diamonds allow Spinel to stay with them in their palace, right? But, they're a bit controlling. Like, they still treat Spinel like she's Pink Diamond, even though Pink Diamond was clearly in the wrong for abandoning an innocent gem all because she got bored of them and didn't want to play them anymore. And, even then, the Diamonds still, like, the Diamonds, they weren't fully abusing her, no, but, if you saw how strict they were with Pink Diamond in the series, and, apparently I got, this is, well, I'll get to that part later, but, basically, whenever Spinel would go out without the Diamond's permission, they would lock her in that same dark, cell-like room that they locked Pink Diamond in, only it was darker. And, yeah, I think that I got inspired by that from a comic I read. Well, I didn't read it. I saw it on YouTube. A lot of other people like to read comics about Spinel. I think it was called Spinel's in Trouble or something. Or something like that. A lot of you might have already read that. You might have seen that comic. I saw it myself. I thought it was pretty sad and decided to add it because it's a pretty. I feel like, to me, that comic stands as a pretty accurate depiction of just the legs that the diamonds are going through to keep Spinel safe. And how desperate they are to get Pink Diamond back that they would literally treat Spinel like the very person who abandoned her and caused her to snap and go evil and nearly kill an entire universe. One day, during this, one day during the usual locking them in a chamber punishment, Spinel and her sisters, Spinel basically has 4 sisters, that she didn't hear about until after she moved in with the diamonds in their palace. So basically she has 4 sisters. Their names are, Jewel, Valentine, Opal, and Ruby. And, you might recognize those 4 in, another series that that I heard about. I don't know if I can pronounce it or even remember the title because I think the title is in Spanish or something. But, it basically talks about these 4 Spinels and how they met, well, the Great Spinel, as they quoted her. But in that series, they didn't really acknowledge them as siblings, but just as really, best friends. But I feel like since they shared such a sisterly bond and seemed to have somewhat the same personalities, I feel like they'd be pretty compatible to be sisters, so I just decided to make them sisters. A lot of you might have heard of those 4. Now, side note, they weren't really given names in the series. I made up the names myself, mostly based on their skin color and their personalities. I hope you guys like the names. I think they're really cute. So yeah, she has 4 sisters, and one day, while being locked up in the chamber, Spinel overheard a conversation from the diamonds, and talking about Yellow specifically. The diamonds were basically talking about how much better Pink and more well behaved Pink Diamond was compared to Spinel, and how they wish that they had Pink Diamond back, that even with Spinel it wasn't the same without Pink. I almost forgot something. The specific reason why she was locked up in that chamber one day, because Spinel recently got into an argument with Steven, which was also in a comic from the same YouTuber that read over Spinel's punishment, or Spinel got in trouble or something like that. And another comic from the very same YouTuber, which I kind of forgot the name of. I think that YouTuber specifically goes over a lot of Steven Universe and Steven and Spinel related comics. In fact, I think every one of their videos is just that. After I'm finished with my story, I might take a quick look at that channel and show you guys the name, where you can find her, and something like that. But yeah, back to the story. So, was because Spinel was really mad about the argument she had with Steven. So, she grabbed a pillar and started from the garden, and from a garden behind the palace, and she wanted this big ramble. You guys probably saw that comic. You probably heard about it yourselves. A lot of people know about it. Let me look at the title for that comic. Oh yeah, her name is Phoenix Prime. The person that that does these kind of comics. That's her name, is Phoenix Prime. And yeah, she does a lot of videos related to Steven Universe and a few on Spinel. In fact, a lot of her videos are based around Spinel comics. So yeah, her name is Phoenix Prime. She's really cool. Really cool person. Yeah, the title of the Argument with Steven comic is about fighting with Steven. It's 2 minutes and 43 seconds on, and there's a big mistake with the episode where Spinel snapped and threw the pillow around everywhere. There's also the comic called Rising Storm, which also was another bigger fight with Steven. And I think it was after this fight in the Rising Storm was when the big mistake part happened in the comic. Yeah, a lot of people read this comic. It got like 697 views. 697k views. So a lot of people already know about the comic. It's pretty short. Not as short as the fight comic, but it is pretty short. Like 2 minutes and 51 seconds long. A lot of these comics are really short, only around 2 to 3 minutes long. In fact, the Spinel Gets in Trouble comics, part 1 is 2 minutes and 38 seconds, and part 2 is 1 minute and 33 seconds, and the final part 3, is 155 seconds. No, 1 minute and 33 seconds is part 2, and 1 minute and 55 seconds is part 3. So yeah, it's in 3 parts. I don't know why, considering it's a pretty short comic, but yeah. And so the big mistake is when she threw a pillow around and accidentally smashed 3 rubies. Like 3, the diamonds set these ruby guards to guard Spinel at all costs. And they happened to be nearby when she threw this mini tantrum, and a pillar fell on top of them, and the rubies tried to save Spinel from the falling pillar, but they ended up getting smashed. All 3 of them ended up getting smashed in the process, and Spinel feels really guilty about it. And but they didn't find out. Spinel told them it was just an accident, that one of the pillars just fell, when she knows deep down that she caused this. In fact, there's a comic called Yellow Suspicion, which is the aftermath of the rubies getting smashed. It's 3 minutes and 39 seconds long, and I think it's when Yellow gets suspicious that Spinel might be the cause for smashing the rubies, and Blue defended her. But then in my story, Spinel, thanks to her sisters, thanks to help with their sisters, Spinel finally gets the courage to open up to Yellow and the rest of the diamonds that she was the one who smashed the rubies. And the diamonds, of course, were furious and locked her in that containment. They were pretty mad. Yellow was especially mad. She said that if Spinel didn't remind them so much of Pink, the Yellow would probably smash Spinel's gem herself. Or kill Spinel, in a way. Spinel, she was utterly heartbroken when Yellow stated that, because the Diamonds were her friend. And yet one of them threatened to kill her. And what was worse is that White was somewhat agreed with the statement, even if she was surprised by the threat. And Blue, she was horrified by the threat because she was pretty much the closest to Spinel. But the most horrified of them all it was Spinel. And when her punishment time was up, she confronted the Diamonds. Or rather, she yelled at them, screamed at them, cried at them even, telling them that they never loved her. They only stuck her around because she reminded them of Pink. And she just couldn't take it anymore. So Spinel ran off. Trailed behind by her sisters, who were waiting just outside in the palace entrance. Seeing Spinel run out, sobbing her eyes out, they grew concerned and they followed her. Later finding her near a riverbank, sobbing her poor heart out. The sisters tried to confront and to comfort her the best they can, but wow. That's when Jewel, the second oldest sister of the family, told Spinel about Mako Island. You see, shortly before the incident occurred, Jewel was wandering around and got lost, eventually finding a cave with a portal in it. Curiosity getting the best of her, she went into the portal. Seeing Goldentail for the first time, seeing Mako for the first time, seeing how safe and colorful it was, she decided to tell her sisters about it. But she hadn't had the guts to tell Spinel until now. And they all decided to run away together. Spinel agreed with her. Spinel was shocked and unsurprisingly hesitant at first, but she agreed, momentarily forgetting about Steven and the rest of her friends. And Jules showed after about 5 or 6 hours of walking, the sisters finally found the cave that Jules told them about. Spinel was, once again, hesitant, as she never strayed so far away from the diamonds before. But she knew she couldn't come back. She knew she couldn't go back. So she led the way and hopped into the portal. Her sisters slowly following behind her. And this will have to be where part 1 of the story ends, because this video is almost 52 minutes long. And I don't want to record too late or too much, as I don't really know my camera app's recording capacity. So yeah, this will just have to be part 1 of Spinel's story, and I'll record part 2 of Spinel's story tomorrow night. And I hope you guys get excited. And don't forget, I'll host the Eclipse live stream April 4th at Friday, April 4th, 7:30 p.m. So this Friday, on April 4th, 7:30 p.m. I hope you guys are excited, as I am, for Eclipse to finally meet you guys. But until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow.